Just how many people get killed in hardcore classic WoW raiding? It seems like it might not be a bunch of people this week, but what's it usually like? I want to know, and I have an idea. I feel like I missed the boat on playing hardcore, and it sounds so fun, so I'm gonna just try it out. Maybe you've had that feeling before too, the idea that since you didn't get onto it when it was absolutely enormous, that now there's just not an opportunity for you. I bet that's not the case, but I'm gonna make sure to go find out for myself. What's the worst thing that could happen? Wasting your time, of course. That's the only fear that you have. It's the only reason you haven't tried this out before, too. But I'm not going to be so stressed out about dying. Instead, I'm going to go have a lot of fun in this new world. And what this series is going to be about is the data of hardcore, along with how long it takes me to level without using guides. I want to play like a total moron. I don't want to do everything the right way. I don't want to stress myself out with the minutia of how to be efficient. Instead, I want to have some fun, and I want to look at what classes die the most. Apparently, these guys die the most, but I kind of think those classes are played by morons. However, I'm going to need to go get a little evidence of this before I make any big claims. So let's quickly speed through my leveling process, and as we're going through it, I'm going to make sure to show you how long it takes me to get each level. That way you can think for yourself, do you want to do this or not? There are a lot of things that are actually different about hardcore, such as the amount of XP you get from bosses, but there's also other stats that I want to go over. I want to check out how the different classes perform, how often they die. You can see that warriors die the most, and I'm not too surprised by that. I mean, I do think it's the class that you're most likely to be deep in the shit and get yourself killed on. But there's going to be other parts about this series that are different too. I'm not going to have crisis actors and fake stories. I want this to be the actual experience, and I want to also talk about crazy things that happened in the old versions of WoW that we all grew to love, most of us as kids. When I was first playing this game, I was invited to a guild, and most of the people were the age of 40 or older, and they would literally rent a beach house for a week every summer and all hang out. I was 12, so I wasn't allowed to go, of course, but the group was super tight-knit, and one of the features of that was people getting to know their spouses, even though they didn't play the game. One time, one of our members, our paladin healer, died in an operation, and their fiance logged on their character to let us know we'd never see them again. And I've had other insane experiences in the game. I've had arena partners tell me that you're a great friend of mine, but I can't play with you anymore, even though I love you and this game because it's going to ruin my life. I've never forgotten you, Walker. Hit me up if you're still out there somewhere. I miss you. But this isn't going to be a sad story. I'm not going to let it be a sad story. I know a lot about the game after playing it very seriously for years. I'm going to challenge myself to make sure that when I'm in dungeons, I'm in charge, I'm the tank, and nobody else is going to get killed if I have anything to do with it. I'm going to be leveling mostly in dungeons. I'll do some mob grinding before I get to that point, but I really don't like doing non-group content in this game. I find it boring. The best parts about this game leverage the massively multiplayer aspects. When it comes to the idea of this being an RPG that you could play single player, it's an awful game. There's really just not enough substance to it. So instead, I'm going to make sure that I'm playing with other people and we're doing stuff where if we screw up, somebody could get killed. But I'm going to try my hardest to prevent that at all times. Of course, that's impossible in 40-man raids, so I'm not talking about there. But in 5-man dungeons, I feel like I have a ton of agency to help the group out and make things go for the better. So I'm going to try my best and have a plan every time for every spot in the dungeons. So that way stuff doesn't go wrong. I'm going to make my own maps and my own guides on how to do these things and spots you can go to reset the mob so that you and your buddies don't get killed when you inevitably screw up in a dungeon. But I'm also going to need to make sure that I have the best gear possible, and that's going to take a lot of gold. And the way that I plan on doing that is I'm going to trade on the auction house. We all know RMT's all over the place, and it makes the markets really, really inefficient. So it's actually super easy to buy and sell stuff. I'll make sure to show you guys how I'm doing that also.